Hello and welcome to another LGR Playdate. As always, I'm your host Mark Hamer, and joining me again is Mark Reay. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. We're going to play some ONRUSH. We've talked about this game before, several times actually. We talked about this game when we did the old AGX Res thing. And I think we've talked about it since then. I've talked about this game a lot on the podcast as well because I bloody love it.
It's brilliant.
It is. It's really good. So let's see if we can jump into a game, because seeing what it is probably easier than explaining. So we can't do quick play because we're actually in a ranked season.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool.
Not know that. Didn't know that held us back.
No, it won't. It won't at all. It's exactly the same. It's just you'll get placed based on your performance, I guess. Right, so we're playing Overdrive, which is just the simplest of modes, just boost and rush to earn points. No real objectives.
What should we be picking, vehicles-wise? Because obviously we've got a myriad of vehicles there.
Yeah.
From heavy to light, basically. Light to heavy.
So unlike your usual racing games, because this isn't a racing game, it's more like a class-based shooter that you happen to be driving in. So it's more like Overwatch. So you pick characters based on their class and their abilities and their loadout. So you've got there's 2 bikes, 2 buggies, 2 off-road cars, and then 2 giant juggernaut things.
So in a session you might
roles.
you might be switching between different classes per race, depending on how well the race. What would you call it? It is a race, isn't it? The Destruction Derby that you're currently involved with.
Well, they call it the Stampede, and I like that description of it, because that's basically what it is. It's just you're just in a giant stampede of cars. These grey ones you can see here are just fodder, basically, like mobs in a MOBA or the AI thingies in Titanfall. They're just there to be crushed.
There's so many different inspirations for this game, like you say. There's Overwatch, there's Titanfall. There's a bit of kind of, I don't know, weird sort of PUBG-ness about the kind of carnage and the kind of terror of just hanging on for dear life. And
it's kind of unlike anything that's any other racing game that's out there, which is both its biggest selling point, I think, and possibly also the reason why it didn't do as well as it should have. Because how do you explain this game to somebody who's never played it?
Playing this game, I'm constantly rushing out to the front, and that's not actually what you want to be doing. You want to be staying in this pack, kind of creating carnage. And just terrifying mobs, basically, these greyed out mobs, and getting boost. The more sort of you sit in that mid pack, the better you're going to place and rank and get, speed and whatever. Ranking points.
So especially on the objective-based role. So this one is basically you get points for the longer you hold a boost, your rush combo. The longer you hold that for, the more points you get. And then you can launch your super, as I just have, and absolutely waste it and not hit anyone with it, which is always fun. But on the more objective-based modes, I like to have a set role that I like to do. So on there's a mode where both teams have got a time that counts down, and you can add time to it by going through gates, and it's the team that runs out of time first loses. So I like to play a nice nimble one of the bike characters, I was going to say, one of the bike classes, and just nip through all the gates and try and get as many time boosts as possible. But then there's another mode where you have to capture and hold control points like you would do in classic Battlefield conquest mode.
Battlefield, exactly.
So for that mode, I like to play one of the heavier cars, and I just kind of act as a blocker, basically. I'll get into the zone and try and knock the opposing player's cars out of the zone so that my other teammates can like hold it and capture it. And then yeah, so it depends on like what sort of makeup your team's got. You can see what cars other people have picked when you go to respawn, so that you can maybe fill a gap in your team, because there is a lot of intricacy to it. The different classes' abilities and their rushes and everything complement each other quite well.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see like the other team here are putting down these sort of gates, sort of Mario Kart yellow banana style, to kind of slow you down and cause you issues. You know?
Yeah.
And you want to be sort of teaming those up with maybe, like you say, a heavier vehicle is going to push people into those gates or force them wide, or
yeah.
There's a lot. You know, if you're playing as a team, and not that we are particularly communicating too well at the moment, but you can start coordinating your attacks, as it were.
Yep.
All the while holding on to dear life and trying not to crash into a tree.
Which I do a lot.
Exactly. That's the other thing with this. You've got to embrace the kind of fact that you're not going to stay alive for too long.
No.
You are going to crash. You are going to be taken out. You're not a unique snowflake.
No.
Be conquering,
but it's never really a problem, because like.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, I never feel like it's particularly cheap if I get taken out. It's like, usually if I get taken out and you see the replay, I'm like, okay, that was an amazing move. I went to drift around a corner and someone T-boned me, or they managed to time their jump just right so they would land on top of me at the bottom and crush me. I never feel cheated by it, and the respawn time's not that long, so you're never like sat there going, like if you're having a bad game in Overwatch, which I have a lot, you spawn, run into where everyone is, get killed, have to watch the kill cam, wait for your spawn counter to go down, and then have to slowly run back from the spawn point back to where the action is. And if that's happening over and over again, it can kind of suck. But on this side, there's never too long. It doesn't keep you out of the action.
It's never a dull moment.
They patched it quite quickly after the game came out to cut the respawn time down, because it was like, I don't know, 4 seconds or something like that. And because how frantic and fast-paced the game is, that did feel a little bit like
you feel like you've completely missed out, don't you? Yeah. I had an absolute shock of that session. Yeah, that's the only thing I find with this, is I find that I just alternate between having an absolute blinder and being like, MVP all the way, or just appalling.
So this mode's quite fun. This is called Switch. So it's like cat and mouse. Everyone will start off on a bike. If you get taken out or you crash, then you respawn as the next level up. You lose a life, but you respawn as the next level up in size of vehicle. So that you've lost a life, then you come back and you're more dangerous. And it keeps going until like one team runs out of lives. It's really good. All the modes in this are really good.
That's the thing
such a
with
shame
this
this game wasn't like. This game deserved to be a smash hit.
Yeah, that's it, and it's like you say. What is the difference between like this and say an Overwatch? Overwatch seems to catch the imagination, whereas this just completely whiffed. The only thing I can think of is it's actually the base genre that it's being played in. Driving games at the moment are having a bit of a downturn. Even though like people are excited for Forza 4, that's about it. No one's really excited for driving games or racing games or vehicle-based games. It's all first-person shooters. It's all 2D Metroidvanias and roguelikes at the moment, or roguelites.
And as we're both big fans of Dead Cells, we're not going to complain about that too much. But
exactly. I just think that the base genre of this just doesn't catch a people's imagination as much. And then marry that to the fact that it's a very difficult game to explain, and you can't show, even in a video, you can't really get over the fact that you're not racing to be the winner. You're not racing to be the first guy,
No.
across the finish line. It's a rolling destruction derby.
Yeah, there's no start line, there's no finish line. It's just so like, and this one is basically just survive. Just stay with the stampede. If you fall too far behind, you'll be automatically crashed out and you'll lose a life. So you can't cheat by trying to stay back. It's just stick with the pack. Oh my god. Oh, switch him and see. I just messed up a corner so badly that I fell behind too much and got crashed out. But it does seem like I've been playing this a fair amount on PS4. I haven't been playing as much on Xbox One. It recently got added to Game Pass. Yet another reason why that service is just amazing.
Oh yes. Especially if you can find the deal at the moment where it's £2 a month.
For a couple of months, isn't it? Yeah. Like 2 months worth for £4, which is mental. I pay the full $7.99 a month, which is less than a Netflix subscription, or less than my Netflix subscription anyway. But the number of games I've got is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? And the fact that they keep adding their Xbox exclusives onto it as well. Like when Crackdown comes out, I'll just download it from Game Pass on day one. Same with Forza Horizon 4. I won't buy it.
Exactly.
I downloaded State of Decay 2 and Sea of Thieves and whatnot. And last night I went on there and saw what was new, what new had been added, and lo and behold, the Master Chief Collection's up there.
Yeah,
in its entirety.
All 70 odd gigs of it.
Oh my god, it's more than that.
Yeah. I know
because I'm playing on a 1X.
Right, yeah.
It's added all the 4K assets as well, so it was like 140 gig. Which is mental. But yeah. Because I never had an original Xbox, and I didn't get an Xbox 360 until about halfway through the generation. The only Halo game I've actually played all the way through is Halo 4, which is the one everybody hates. And I quite liked it. That was the first one that 343 made after Bungie left to start work on Destiny.
Yes. Yeah. No. I'm not a Halo fan.
Yeah.
I played.
No.
Played a little bit of one.
I'm just kind of interested to.
Sorry? Halo. Like I played a little bit of 1 when it came out, and I played a little bit of. Completely missed 2. Played 3 all the way through, and was bored to tears with it. And then just.
I played a lot of Halo 1, but. Okay, yeah, I've heard good things about that. I've heard good things about pretty much all of them, apart from the only one I played. But Halo 1, I played a lot of that, but only multiplayer on a friend's Xbox, so I never played the campaign at all. Just a shame to have liked to play like the good old days of 2-player, split-screen, couch co-op sort of thing. So I'm looking forward to playing through that. Yeah, Game Pass is really good. But speaking of games, what a ridiculous week it's been, eh? This past week. Dragon Quest 11, Destiny 2, Forsaken, and then Spider-Man.
Yeah, see,
it's been mental.
I've been all over Dragon Quest. Obviously, you've been picking up slack with Destiny, and I've got this thing at the moment about just open world games. Just steer clear of them. I'm burnt out. I'm done. Absolutely done.
I can totally understand that, man. I can totally understand that.
And then looking at this, the thing is, there's this weird hype cycle that drives me bananas. Everyone's going mad. Oh, Spider-Man! Oh, it's the greatest game. Oh, it's so brilliant. And then when you actually read the reviews and you actually see what people are talking about with that game, it sounds like a very middling, mediocre game with some brilliant presentation. And there's nothing about it that, to me, that just it doesn't inspire me. There's nothing about it that inspires me.
See,
I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's fine.
I think I disagree. I think it does I think I say it's up there with the first with Arkham Arkham Asylum, the first Arkham game. Yeah, it's got like a massive open city, but it's a very focused story. Like the massive cities there, kind of mainly because getting around it feels so good.
But again,
like the web swinging and everything
with
feels
Arkham
so
Asylum,
good.
it was
But,
tied to a smaller world, right? It was tied to,
yes,
you know, it was a small area, but it was made to feel bigger. Where this, to me, looks like it's a big, empty, well, not empty, but just kind of a big, vast area that just kind of is unwieldy, and it's just far too many nooks and crannies to go. And it's, like you say, if it's going to be that focused a story, I want it in a focused area. I don't want to be, you know, travelling for 20 minutes across the world to get to a, you know, mission point.
You
or
couldn't
whatever.
do that with a Spider-Man game, though, could you? You couldn't bring out a Spider-Man game and then not allow players to be able to swim through.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Downtown
But it's just
Manhattan.
that thing of like, I played Watch Dogs 2, GTA, you know, recently. Like, got Red Dead on the horizon. You've got what else have I played recently that's kind of like that? Ghost Recon. Played a bit of Ghost Recon, and that's, do you know what I mean? And that's a big old open world where it's all, and it's just, I'm done. I'm Far Cry 5 to a degree as well.
Yeah, I still haven't finished that.
You just think, and I just think like, I'm kind of done with that whole genre for a while. I just want to, I don't know. I either want, if it's going to be story based, I want it to be really tight and focused, or I just want something completely different. No?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're burnt out on open world games, then you're not going to like Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Because it is an open world.
This is the thing. Is it's on my list.
Maybe something to come back to in the future.
It's
Though,
like
but
2 years
it's
time.
like,
I'll
for
be
me.
well up for it.
Oh yeah, and it'll be dirt cheap as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, it's not like you'll be missing out on some multiplayer stuff or anything like that. It's just just strictly single player.
Same thing with like God of War as well.
Yeah. But Spider-Man, like I've already got a massive soft spot for the character. Like, it's really dumb to say like, oh, I identify with a superhero character, but out of all of like the big name superhero characters, Peter Parker was always the one that I felt was most identifiable, because when he's not in the Spider-Man suit, when he's just Peter Parker, he's like socially awkward and quite anxious and
like to be like.
Yeah, like he doesn't do very well with people, and they're like, that's kind of like, that's a bit like me. But like when he puts on the suit, he's kind of like, a bit cocky and, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But I've always identified with Peter Parker and Spider-Man's character, and it's like, and this story is quite personal for that character. One of the other things I always liked about Spider-Man compared to some of the other superhero characters is I'm just crashing all the time at the moment.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm just
is
a shocker.
He's not like out to save the world. He's not like Iron Man or Thor. They've got to stop the threat that's going to end the world. It's just like Spider-Man's. There's some dudes robbing a bank. Spider-Man's going to go and stop them robbing the bank.
Yeah, he's going low level.
And that's it usually. Yeah, it's quite small stories. Anyway, Spider-Man's really good. Destiny Forsaken is... I know you're burnt out on Destiny as well.
Yeah, massively. Hey, do you know what?
I was myself a while ago.
Oh, it's not actually the mechanics of Destiny that I'm burnt out on. It is the sheer amount of money and DLC that I've pumped into it. And I just feel guilty for having spent that kind of money on a series of games. Like I've probably done, I know I've done, in fact, about 120 quid on Destiny 1. And I've probably done about 80 quid Destiny 2. And I just thought, I've nearly done sort of I've done around the £200 on one
man.
game series. I just think, do you know what? That's too
Yeah,
much
I
of
don't
my
even
money.
want to start trying to add it up because I bought like the collector's edition of Destiny 1, and then
I just feel
which
grubby.
came with the first season pass,
Yeah.
and then I bought the Taken King, and then I bought Rise of Iron, and then I just bought the regular version of Destiny 2. Actually, I don't think I got the collector's edition of that. But then bought the season pass.
There's just something I
and,
just feel grubby
I've
about.
then bought Forsaken and the season pass for that as well. So like, I know what you mean. Like, you spent a lot of money, and all that money, most of that money is going to Activision, who are a horrible, horrible company.
Yeah, and just.
But
and I'm not getting. Like, I'm getting 50% of what I want out of the game as well.
yeah,
Like, I'm not getting.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I was getting a well-beaten, world-class, story, and if it was World of Warcraft and it was so beautifully crafted, and the raids were, as good as the Vault of Glass every time they came out, and this kind of stuff, I wouldn't begrudge paying that money. I wouldn't.
no,
I see a product
No,
that is mediocre. There's mediocre level design and mechanics. With a brilliant shooting, the shooting mechanics are brilliant, but like the way the levels are designed and the missions are put together, and the fact that there's one raid, but then a series of like these offshoot things, and like, none of it seems cohesive or thought about, or it just doesn't work for me.
that was
And I
a massive problem with so the main campaign and everything in Destiny 2 was great, although I was kind of hoping for more of an event in taking out Dominus for like the main bad guy of the main campaign and everything. And then he got into the end game and they absolutely destroyed what made the grind in Destiny fun. This is going to make me sound like a shitty person, but like making it appeal too much to casual players, by like cutting the grind and everything, meant that there was no reason to actually stay in it. And then the 2 DLCs that they brought out after were massively disappointing.
Oh yeah.
The second one's slightly less disappointing than the first one, but still pretty crap. But
When you've just
Forsaken
dropped
has
like,
absolutely blown my mind.
you've dropped like 120 quid, and you don't know
Yeah.
whether it's going to be good or appalling. It sticks in your craw a little bit, surely. But yeah, like I say, so
Yeah.
tell me
No,
about,
I know.
Tell me about
Sorry?
Forsaken then. I've not even. I've literally ditched it completely. Like I'm not checking up on it online. I'm not reading about it. I know nothing about it.
Right, so Forsaken is... do you remember Petrovenge and the Prison of Elders back from the second DLC for Destiny 1?
Yeah. That was that arena shooter.
There's a big breakout. Yeah, but so the Prison of Elders is a giant prison where the Awoken keep all of the bad guys that they capture. And Cade gets a message that something's gone down. So he goes along, and you go along with him, and there's a massive prison break in the Prison of Elders, and you run through, and you haven't like it's a really, really good mission. I think it's the first time where you're in an arena where there's all 4 enemy types facing off against each other and you. Basically, the prison break was launched by. Do you remember Uldren Sov, who was Mara Sov's brother, the Queen of the Reef's brother?
Yes.
The Crow from the first game.
I was going to say.
He's launched the
Queen of the Reef, who basically
So, like-
appeared and then just died pretty much instantly, and they were building up
she
to build
died
as
in
a
the Taken
character.
King.
Yeah.
that we think she died in the Taken King. Not entirely sure. It appears that she died. And Uldren's trying to find her, and he basically, as a way to do this, releases a bunch of there's a group, like a subset of the Fallen called the Scorn, and he releases the barons, who are like the leaders of the different types of Scorn, and Cade tries to stop them and gets killed, but not like Destiny killed, like killed dead, like his ghost gets killed and then he gets killed. So that character is now gone. He's not coming back. They've made it abundantly clear that everybody's favourite Destiny character, voiced by Nathan Fillion, is dead and is not coming back. And so that's enough of a basis for you to be like, right, I need some revenge. But then it ends up telling like a really, really amazing story with some brilliant characters in some really interesting locations. The last place you get to is a place called the Dreaming City, which is like a sacred place to the Awoken. Is one of the nicest looking environments I've ever seen in a video game. Like, it's absolutely stunning, and it is chock full of secrets, like more than I've ever seen in any area in Destiny. And I know there's still a bunch of stuff I haven't experienced yet. I've only done one of the new strikes. I haven't done the new raid. I'm attempting it this Sunday morning with some people from the computer game show clan.
Oh yeah, the clan, yeah.
Yeah. Despite the fact that we're all underpowered, so that'll be fun. We just think that, like,
but that's not what
it's like. Oh well, you know, if we can beat the first boss, that would be great.
Yeah, that's it.
So we'll see how it goes.
It's a
it'd be nice to
fact-finding
just
mission.
like poke our heads in.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Poke your head in, see what's what, and then gear up and come back and make a proper try at another time. But yeah, I think it's really good. Like, they've actually managed to tell, which has been Bungie's, as far as I understand, Bungie's problems for a long time is that, like, they're really good at world building.
Yeah.
Like, the world, I've always been interested from a distance at, like, the world building and the lore and everything of Halo, but I understand that they weren't very good at telling a compelling story, and the world of Destiny is amazing, but they've really struggled to tell a good story. Yeah, it's like, it's hidden away. Like, you have to watch videos where people have dug up the lore and actually presented it in an interesting way because Bungie haven't done it themselves. But this one's got a really good story, like a genuinely good story. Your Guardian can actually speak again, which is nice. Although he says a grand total of, I think, 7 words in the entire DLC.
Maybe laughed the other day when someone was going, "Oh my god, the first time I've ever heard my Guardian speak." I'm like, I swear he spoke in the one when he was talking.
He did in the original. Yeah, he spoke in the original.
Yeah. Thought that was really funny. There's a whole group of people that have played.
Hash of hitting these gates.
Oh no, I'm having a shocker, mate. Honestly, the last 2 sessions have just been appalling.
Yeah.
Whole talking and playing thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of new players in Destiny 2 at the moment because it got added on to PS Plus. So I see a lot of new players in the Crucible and everything. One of the coolest things they've added in Forsaken is the Gambit mode. How the hell did we win that?
No idea.
I had absolutely nothing to do with that victory, that round victory. So yeah, Gambit there's this new character called the Wanderer or something like that. He's basically Destiny's equivalent of Matthew McConaughey. Like, the first time you ever see him, he says, "All right, all right, all right," and his mode is you and 3 other Guardians face off against another team of 4 Guardians, and you compete to fight enemies of a particular class. You get assigned one at the beginning of the match. He says, like, "Oh, this one's going to be Fallen, or this one's going to be Cabal, or whatever." And then every time you kill them, they drop these motes that you can pick up and then bank. Go and put in your bank. And then when you put them in your bank, you add to your score, but you also, if you put in like 5, 10, or 15 at a time, drop a blocker, which is like, it will pull in an enemy into the other team's bank, where the other team's bank is, and they can't access their bank until they've killed that small, medium, or large blocker enemy. And then also, once you've banked enough points, a portal opens, and one of your team members can jump through into the other team's realm and start taking them out and stealing their moats.
I've heard,
so then the other team's
about
got to
this.
try and stop
So
them.
it's essentially a risk reward between holding on to your moats and try not to get killed, and or just
And amassing enough to bank it to put in a big blocker on the other team's side.
that's it. Or
exactly.
Or just doing lots of little chips. Chip away.
Yeah. It's like which do you go for? Because a small blocker's not very hard for the other team to take out. Big blocker can be quite difficult, and it'll slow them down. And so while they're trying to take out the blocker so they can actually bank their points, there's the chance that the player from your team that's gone into invade can take them out. Or, there's also your team is banking points while they are in a position where they can't. And then the first team to reach the maximum will summon a big special boss, basically, and you have to take out. If you take that boss out, then you win. But then they add another little wrinkle in that, if the enemy if an enemy team's invader get in your world takes out one of your players, the boss gets health back. I mean, it sounds massively complicated, but when you're in the thick of it, it's not that bad. And it's just one of the more inventive things I've seen someone do with a competitive first-person shooter mode. They haven't been let's put in another battle royale mode.
If you've got absolutely
something
no interest in PvP, is this just a complete waste of your time and energy?
No, because you don't ever have to jump through the portal.
Right, okay.
Only one person can invade at a
Right.
time. And you're never going to be in a position where nobody wants to go through, because you'll always have someone on the team. Besides I'm pretty sure one of the exotic quests involves getting kills while invading the other team. So you don't have to worry about that at all. I mean, you will get invaded.
Yeah.
But, it's just another enemy to take out. But it's just a really inventive mode. But I'm enjoying it. But anyway,
is it more of?
There's another game that we have both played. You, I presume, considering more than me, I've only played about 5 hours of it.
Oh, I think I'm about 11. Yeah, I'm not that far ahead. I think I'm about 7.5 or 8 in.
Okay. See, I've not long escaped from the dungeon.
Oh right,
and, and I'm out in the out in the world. I can't remember what it's called, the area
Heliodor or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, some forest area. So I'm not very far into it at all, but it's really good.
It's good. It's very good.
It's really good.
I was reading a review about it today that I completely agree with. It was basically a guy. A lot of people have been going, "Oh, this is one of the best JRPGs that's ever been made," and blah blah blah. And I was like, it seems a bit hyperbolic from what, because I was very lucky. I got to go and play this down at Square Enix's offices, and so I kind of had a fairly decent overview of what this game was going to be about. And then seeing the reviews coming out, I was like, that's not the same game that I was playing. I think there's a lot of people who really want this to do well because it's a Dragon Quest game. And but
I mean, it's
no margin is it a bad game, because it isn't. But
no.
It's very, very, very much like it's trying to stick to its roots on the PS2.
Yes.
And
that's the thing that I think attracts a lot of people to it, is that every other JRPG franchise that has existed for any length of time, Shin Megami Tensei or Final Fantasy or whatever, has felt this need to iterate and make changes, and Final Fantasy 15 is unrecognizable from classic Final Fantasies.
It's just it's not an RPG to me. It's weird. It's just it's a weird like sort of taxi simulator with talking on it. We were talking halfway through it every now and then. It's just weird. But
it's great though. I love Final Fantasy 15, but like Dragon Quest knows exactly what it is,
that's it,
and it will continue to be that. It just does that. Like it's not ever going to surprise you. It's never going to.
So
I don't think they will ever stray from turn-based combat. I don't think they will ever stop using heavily MIDI synthesized soundtracks that sound very, very 90s, like in a way that I really like.
It's some of it's So the thing is originally I think Dragon Quest 8 was orchestral. It's actually a fully orchestral.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, very late. It's a full orchestral soundtrack, whereas this isn't. This is obviously taking those, like you say, MIDI samples and then trying to make the same kind of sound out of it and stuff. But that's like sort of one of the kind of things that you can see about this game, that all the way through this process, it's just been pared down. They've taken they've taken the massive production values out of it, and they've just tried to kind of make it good enough. And like the story's good enough, the graphics are very good, kind of paper over a few cracks, but they've pared down systems, and whereas before you would have to go to a town to find a forge, now they've given you a forge that's portable, that you carry around with you. This kind of stuff. It's very. There's lots of ease of use things that are in there now, just to like sort of placate modern audiences. Still in keeping with the kind of Dragon Quest ethos, and kind of. It's weird that they're trying to play tradition against staying as modern as they can. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it feels very dated and sort of like it's being held back a little bit. And I think, like I said in this article I was reading today, I think it was hit the nail on the head that it doesn't innovate enough in the right areas. And like you say, and things that it could do better through better writing or better story, it doesn't do, because it wants to stick to those traditional PS2 roots.
It's a very traditional.
Doesn't want to throw
JRPG
it doesn't want to throw Dragon Quest fans off, which is fair enough. But there is a wonderful Dragon Quest game there somewhere.
Yeah, there is. It's called Dragon Quest Builders. I watched Kotaku did a video review of it, which I was like kind of drawn to. It was like, I don't usually do video reviews very often, and it was like a 30-minute long video. That is
a massive Dragon Quest fan who's just squeed over the game from the Japanese release.
Yes, he lived in Japan for a good while, and in Japan, Dragon Quest is life. Like, it's massive. Like, he was saying, like, it's one of the few games they had to push towards releasing at the weekend to stop people from calling in sick to work, or just not turning up to school so they could play the new Dragon Quest game. But he raised an interesting point in it about it, in that, like, the way that a lot of Japanese people treat the Dragon Quest games is it's like a bedtime story.
Yeah.
Like, they stick it on and play it for half an hour or an hour before going to bed. You don't sit there and play it for six hours or whatever, and play. You play through it in comfortable half an hour long chunks, and that's your little slice of bedtime story or whatever. And I really like that idea. MVP.
It doesn't. The good thing about this one that I've been playing is that nothing outstays its welcome. It's rattling through the areas at a serious pace. I think I've gone from where you are. I mean, you've gone from your hometown to, and not trying to give too many spoilers away, but I've gone from my hometown to where you are now in the castle, and that whole scenario to another scenario with mild peril. and then on from there to another completely different scenario. And there's parts of it that remind me of the Zelda franchise and Breath of the Wild. You know, you're going from very similar, you know, biome to very similar biome, but in that quick succession.
Select.
And yeah, it doesn't hang around. Well, at the moment it hasn't anyway. No, and I've got 5 party members now. So,
Okay.
And that's what 7-8 hours in, and for a 60-hour RPG. Now they've dulled them out pretty quickly. So,
yeah.
You know, you always feel like you're getting somewhere.
Well, it kind of needs to. Like, these sort of games, like, they live and die on their characters, really. Because, especially in a game like this, where the story is kind of nothing remarkable about it, it's a story that you've heard before. You need some interesting characters. And I've only got one, companion character so far, but all of the characters that I've met, like from the village cobblestone that you start in through just people that you're talking to in Heliodor and whatnot, have been like interesting and fun, and I really like the voice acting. I like the use of like regional British accents. That's become quite a big thing recently in Western adaptations.
It was quite divided in the States. They don't like the accents because not American.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not American, then it doesn't exist basically. But it's
because whatchamacallit, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is all full of like Welsh and Scottish and regional English accents and whatnot, and from what I understand, that went down quite well in America. But
yeah, there's a couple of reviews
I don't know about this one.
Yeah, a couple of reviews I've read are just like owned about the accents, and so many accents and stuff like that. But you know, it's nice. It's nice to have a bit of representation, I suppose. You know, we're always the bad guys.
It is nice. Yes, exactly.
But one thing I will say about this is that it's one of the only JRPGs I've played that's unremittingly positive and optimistic. It's very chocolate boxy, and whereas you know you're playing,
you kind of need a little bit of.
Yeah.
Like there's so much gloom and doom in video games, and like
the closest you'll get to the Sega Blue Skies thing. You know? It's just.
I mean, I don't know if you played much of Final Fantasy 15.
I didn't play very much of it.
But like the first like 30, 40 hours of that game is like a buddy road trip.
Yeah.
It's really, really, you know, uplifting, quite fun, and you know, you're out on these adventures, and then every night you and your mates.
There's always
like,
that underlying
chill out at the
sort
campfire
of
and
steely grittiness that.
There is a bit like through like the main chunk, but it's like there's a very particular point at which the story takes a very dark turn, and it just gets darker and darker until the end was like quite upsetting.
Yeah.
Like
and that's what.
I mean, Nino, even like Nino Kuni. The second one to a lesser extent, but definitely the first one, like that, for such a colourful, bright JRPG, it's predicated on the main character's mother dying.
Yeah, I mean, so essentially,
it's dark.
It's the sort of the psychosis that the young boy is going through because of the death of his mother. No, it's the psychological trauma that he's facing. He basically projects. You know, into this other world, and it's really dark. You know, the actual
it is. Yeah, when you sit down and think about it, it's really dark. But like, and so having a story that's just, you know, just a classic fairy tale, good versus evil, but like not the evil's not that kind of
not that evil,
menacing or sinister. You know,
exactly.
It's quite nice. I quite like that. I've heard very good things to a similar extent about the story of Octopath Traveler. I haven't played that myself, but my other half
played a lot of the
demo. The hell out of it. She really liked it.
I
thought the demo was great.
Yeah.
We're really in like a proper sort of renaissance for JRPGs.
Switch, isn't it? It's the Switch. There's been a bit. I think Nintendo basically put out a bit of a decree that they wanted more JRPG type stuff, you know, that kind of game on the Switch, and basically Square Enix went, yep, we've got loads of those.
Even on like the big boy consoles as well, like Persona 5 was a smash hit from what I understand, and Ni no Kuni 2, and
I've got that.
Final Fantasy 15, and
got Ni no Kuni being delivered.
I mean, it was enough. Sorry?
Got Ni no Kuni being delivered as we speak. I'm desperate to
Which,
get into
first
that.
one or the
Second one?
Second one.
Second one. I've had the first one for ages and ages
Yeah.
and ages. I adore it, but because it's on the PlayStation 3.
I bought. I would kill for.
Rehooking up
it would never
consoles.
happen, but I would kill for a Switch port of the first Ni no Kuni. That would have been great. I mean, technically, that Ni no Kuni was a reimagining of a 3DS game. No, DS game.
Oh, really?
Because Ni no Kuni was on the DS first. Yeah. Wrath of the White Witch was not the first Ni no Kuni game.
Okay.
That game has I think the nicest special edition of any game I've ever bought. It came with a plushy version of Mr. Drippy, bunch of like stickers and stuff, and the soundtrack and whatnot. And it was a Joe Hisashi soundtrack, so you know it's amazing. And then like a physical copy of the Wizard's Companion, you know, the book with all the spells and everything in. You carry around a physical version of that, and it's gorgeous. Nice.
Ow.
MVP.
Ow. But yeah.
Then my other half bought the special edition of Ni no Kuni 2 when it went on sale. Like it was originally over £100, and then it went down to like £60, and it comes with the soundtrack on like double disc vinyl, an art book, and then like a wind-up sort of music box.
Oh, lovely.
That plays a music box version of the main Ni no Kuni theme. It's incredible.
Brilliant.
Ni no Kuni 2 is really, really good.
I'm
Check out
worried
the LGR Play episode on it that I did with Colin.
Yeah, we'll do.
From Last Save Loaded. It's very good.
Listening to that, I'm just now.
If I do say so myself.
I did watch that, and the one thing I am worried about is the fact that obviously first Ni no Kuni was so heavily sort of checked over by Ghibli, but the second one doesn't seem to have as much input, and I'm worried that.
No, Ghibli weren't officially involved. It's had former Studio Ghibli artists involved in it, so it's got the same style. Sorry, excuse me. And Joe Hisashi did the music for it again, so it's got that Ghibli style sound, but it doesn't have those lovely hand-drawn, hand animated cutscenes like the original had. There are some. You know how beautiful the overworld looked in the first Ni no Kuni? It's very different in the new one. I don't like it. It's not a major deal. It's just what the overworld.
See, this is the thing: is that between like sort of Dragon Quest, which is hitting enough of the right notes that I'm enjoying it because I'm a massive Dragon Quest fan. I own a load of them on the DS. I bought 8 on the PlayStation 2. Got like 9 is one of my favourite games of all time. You know, I'm massively into Dragon Quest. And Dragon Quest at the moment just being okay and doing enough to kind of make a pass, and then also sit and being bright and optimistic, and then comparing that to Ni no Kuni, and you think, well, it's bright and optimistic as well, and I could get into that, and again, it not quite hitting the mark, and you just think, oh, what is, what could have been is the thing with those games. It's just like, it's that feeling of a missed opportunity.
I think it's. No, I don't think Ni no Kuni 2 is a missed opportunity at all. Like it just made a couple of creative decisions in terms of the art direction in like the overworld map and stuff like that I didn't care.
Like you wouldn't
too
necessarily
much, but it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
No, not massively. You don't spend that much time on and I can kind of see why they did it in a way, because they needed to accommodate one of the new game elements in, which is like the sort of quasi RTS battle stuff, which is really fun. But I don't think it would have worked in the original art style. But then pretty much every other change they made for I think has been for the better. Like changing up the battle style to be an actual active battle system, like with quite simple light attack, heavy attack, and then spells sort of thing. But there's a level of depth to it once you start to explore, and the variety of locations that you go to are still, you know, massive and varied and very Ghibli-esque, even if they haven't been done directly by Ghibli. Some of the places you go to, and the story is very good. I was a bit unsure at first because the way it introduces the story is a bit abrupt compared to how the story is introduced into Ni no Kuni in the first Ni no Kuni. But then, like after I spent some time with the game, I really started to warm to the main character and the companion characters, and I think pretty much everything they did, every change they made was for the best. Overall, it's an improvement over the first Ni no Kuni, and I didn't think that was possible because I absolutely adored the first one. But yeah, it's definitely worth playing through. I think you'll enjoy it.
Nice. Now I'm looking forward to getting that. So, what are you looking forward to, like the rest of the year coming up? There's a lot coming out. We're in the midst.
I tell you what, I'm not looking forward to.
There we go.
I am not looking forward to Battlefield 5.
Really?
Yeah, I played the beta.
I was going to say, because
not good.
One people were not happy with. So is it just building off? Well, from what I've sort of read, is that 4 was.
Yeah,
4
I know
was
some
okay,
people.
Like 4 came round eventually. Then they went to Battlefield 1, and then there was just problems with like sniping, you know, and like it just not being a very.
Sniping has always been a problem in Battlefield. It was a massive problem in Battlefield 4 because people would like pick sniper class, jump into a helicopter at the beginning of the game, fly off to the top of a tall building, and just sit there and get 3 kills in an entire 40-minute match.
Dynamo.
You didn't get that quite so much in Battlefield 1. Some people didn't like one of my friends, Don. He's a big Battlefield fan.
He's a bit of a savant.
1 compared to 4. Yeah,
he's a
Battlefield historian.
Could you send me an invite?
Have you been dropped out?
I've been dropped out.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, the guy's a savant at that game. So anything that he says about that game, I take as gospel.
Drive through the gates.
Yeah, Don is amazing at Battlefield, and I trust his opinion on things. Although we disagreed on Battlefield 1, I really liked it. I really liked Battlefield 1 because it just felt like it was a little bit more simplistic because you hadn't got like helicopters and jeeps and heat-seeking rocket launchers and whatnot because it was First World War. You got bolt-action rifles and bayonets and horses, very rudimentary tanks and stuff. And but I really liked that because it just. Played that game with a pair of headphones on and it just felt like you were in a war zone, or as much as I could imagine being in a war zone would be like.
Sound design in those games has always been incredible, so that always
DICE has always had amazing sound design, and just the mud and the whizzing bullets and the just utter chaos of Battlefield 1 I really liked. Battlefield 5, they've cut so these are some of the changes I don't like. Because overall, the gunplay and everything still feels great. It looks really good. And it still feels chaotic to play. But they've cut the squad size from 5 to 4. They've made changes to how revives work. So before, you could only revive if you were a medic class, which is always my favourite class to play because I'm not great at the shooting, so I get most of my points from just keeping other players alive and reviving players and whatnot.
You get your points where you can get your points.
Yeah, get your points. Take your points where I can get them.
Yeah.
And so they've changed it now. So like anyone in your team can revive another player in their squad. Medics can revive anyone from any squad, but anyone, if you were playing a sniper and one of your squad mates goes down, you can revive them. So that means nobody's playing medic anymore. Which isn't a massive problem for me because that was the class I'd go to anyway. So whatever squad I'm playing in, there's going to be a medic because it's going to be me. But it means that if you ever wanted to, stray away and play like a different class, you want to play support, which I like to play sometimes as well, then you're more than likely not going to have a medic on your team.
Yeah.
Which is, again, not a massive problem because anyone can revive anyone, but then nobody does, or at least in the beta, nobody did.
Yeah.
Like when you die, you get the option to like pull the left trigger and bleed out quickly, or hold the right trigger and like hang on for dear life and call out for teammates for a rev.
People want it to be a bit more Call of Duty and just ping, revive, like ping.
Yeah, but nobody was doing it. I was lying there next to a medic, and they wouldn't revive me. Sorry, excuse me. So yeah, one of the big changes is ammunition. You start with a clip in your gun and 2 in reserve, and that's it. Now you can pick up ammo off dead enemies, and your support guy, the support person in your team can drop ammo for you, but and there'll be like these supply crates at the actual capture points if you're playing Conquest. But if you're out in the, if you're moving between from point A to point B and you run out of ammo, or you get into a gunfight and it's just like, and it lasts more than a few seconds, like you burn through a couple of clips, then suddenly you've got 1 clip of ammunition left and that's it. And so I kept on running into gunfights where like I'd run out of ammo and I'm suddenly going up against someone with a machine gun using just a pistol. And it's designed to try and make squads stick together, which is fine if you're playing with people you're communicating with, but that's not always the case. Like sometimes I'll just jump on Battlefield and I just want to play. I don't want to go on comms.
You just want to jump on a pickup
into
match.
A random squad. Yeah, just jump in a solo queue, jump into a pickup match, play with some randoms, do my role to help that squad. But you're not necessarily always going to stick together because that very rarely happens with randoms. And the new system kind of punishes you if you play that way. But the main issue I've got is that as the Battlefield games have become more graphically, the graphical fidelity has become better. It's become harder and harder to spot enemy players, which has made spotting more and more important. So you see an enemy down your sights, you tap R1 and it'll spot them, like a little red icon will appear above them, and all of your teammates can see them. And for a few, it'll stay like that for like 10 seconds, and then till you lose sight of them, and then the thing will go away. They've taken spotting out.
Wow. Ridiculous.
So you will automatically spot an enemy if you basically got the barrel of your gun pushed into their face. It'll automatically spot them. But then the 3D spotting's gone, so the only people who will actually see that player spotted is anyone who is in your immediate vicinity.
Right.
And then it disappears very quickly. Now snipers can spot people.
I'm going to say there's got to be one
do
class.
3D spotting. But the last thing Battlefield needed was more incentive for people
to be a
just
sniper.
Stack their teams out with 4 snipers, and so it's just a nightmare of just snipers everywhere. And I played it for a while, and I tried. I wanted to like it because it's Battlefield, and I love Battlefield, but
You think
it's not good. It's not good at all. And I went back to Battlefield 1 and had an amazing time.
you got into this new Call of Duty Black Ops, whatever it is, beta that's knocking about, or private beta?
No, but I've heard really good things about this blackout mode, the Battle Royale thing.
Yeah, it'd be interested to see how many people jump ship to get involved with that instead.
Because last year it was the other way around, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last Call of Duty didn't do very well. It was actually, which is weird because it was actually for a change, a good Call of Duty. World War II one. but not last year, the year before, which was Infinite Warfare.
No Warfare, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
which was
Call of Duty 4. It was packed in with it to just please buy this game.
Yeah, packed in with the special edition one.
Yeah.
And then they managed to fuck that as well. So Infinite, loads of people jumped ship from COD to Battlefield, because Battlefield 1 sold massively and helped to bury its stablemate, Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Which I will never forgive EA for. I played some Titanfall 2 again over the weekend. I just wanted to see if people were still playing it. Took a little while to get into a match, but my god, that game's still good.
That's the problem, is like
Titanfall 2 is amazing.
Only people are stuck with it. Because it is still the best shooter out there.
Well, if only EA hadn't put it out a week after Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
That was just... Talk about sending a game out to die.
Oh yeah, massively. I mean... what gets me is how you've got such a great game and you're just not supporting it. So weird.
Yep.
It's so weird.
Yeah, they put all of their marketing into Battlefield 1. They decided, right, we're going to put both these games out within a week of each other, but we think Battlefield 1 is going to be the one that's going to steal sales from COD.
That's it.
We don't care if we steal sales from ourselves.
No, that's it.
So they just put both these games out to try and bury COD, but like put all the marketing into Battlefield 1. And Battlefield 1's a good game. It's a really good game. I think it's a really good Battlefield game. Although opinion is divided amongst the hardcore Battlefield community, like we were saying. But yeah, Titanfall was just sent to die. Yeah. What were we talking about before Titanfall?
Basically, just well, you were talking about Battlefield and stuff, but what I wanted to know is like, what are on your list of games that you're going to be picking up before the new year?
Oh yes, yeah. So yeah, not Battlefield 5. To be honest, like, what is there coming out towards the end of the year? There's Red Dead Redemption 2, which I've got pre-ordered, like, because of course I do. It's fucking Red Dead. And the first Red Dead was one of the best games on the last generation. I still think it's the best game that Rockstar have made.
It's gonna be very interesting.
Probably say GTA 5, but
it's gonna do numbers.
I think Red Dead's way better than that. It's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, it's rare for Rockstar to put out a bad game. And I'm also really interested to see how the online works in a post GTA Online world.
Yeah.
Like how that works. I'm really interested in that. But I'm not anywhere near as bothered as that as I'm. Like, I've always had a soft spot for westerns anyway.
Yeah.
And this looks like it's going to be a really good western story.
Division.
But no, there's not a lot else coming out. No, Division's next year. This is the thing. It's like everything. There's like a silly season this year is not that much. Oh, there's the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I'll wait on that one. It's set in a period of ancient history that I've already
have
had
a genuine
soft spot
interest
for antiquity. Yeah, which is one of the reasons why I liked Origins so much, because it was set in not only in ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, but a really interesting time in ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
So I play that for the historical murder tourism more than anything else. So I'll play that like 6 months down the line when it's cheap. But everything's coming out February 22nd. Everything. I think that's when Division 2 comes out. That's when Sekiro Shadows Die Twice comes out.
Yeah.
That's when Anthem comes out. There's just a shit ton of games coming out
basically
there.
telling me that I've got to pick up Red Dead and then just not worry about anything until February.
You don't have to worry about anything. No, you can, I mean, like, just pick up some old games that you may have missed.
That's it, man.
Sale. Do you know what I picked
God
up?
of War will be cheap by then, won't it?
For probably, yeah, that'll be on sale. And you know what I picked up for Peanuts recently, and on Xbox One, and I've been really enjoying is Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, I've got back into that. It's so technical, and I'm completely out of my depth. But still an amazing game that I wish I had a crew to run with on that game.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played actually with other people on comms, apart from I had it for a while on PS4, and I played a couple of rounds of Terrorist Hunt with Andy Brown from the Codec Moments podcast.
But,
I've just been playing. I haven't played PvP. I don't think I'm even interested in playing the PvP mode. It's just all about. I just like the Terrorist Hunt modes. Teaming up with people and just get rid of all the AI.
Yeah, clearing out an area.
Yeah, that's just really fun. And I like the fact that it's got like these season passes, but the season pass doesn't get you anything really that you can't get by just playing the game. It will. All the maps and everything are free for everyone. The season pass, the season passes, because I've had like 3 of them now. They will unlock all of the new operators for you, and you get them 7 days early, and you get some in-game currency. But you don't get anything in it which you can't earn by just playing the game. Which is a good way to do it, and like it means that the player base isn't divided.
Yeah, it's one of those games that I picked up way too late. Never had a crew for. Sort of fell by the wayside. And
you've got it. Column from Last Save Loaded, he's got it.
What we should do is get
we can find.
Get a group together and then just like film a load of terrorist hunts. The hilarity that will ensue, obviously.
That'll be fun, yeah. Especially with the fact that like friendly fire is a thing in that game.
God, yeah.
And I know Column will end up
capping someone in the back of the head.
Murdering us.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that game's good. Do you know what I picked up, actually? This is... I'm probably... me and my other half are probably the only people I know who would be interested in this. I picked up, for £3, a game which is less than a year old. Ashes Cricket.
Oh, right, yeah.
This studio called Big Ant. It's an Australian studio who are mad about cricket. They seem to be the only outfit that makes like cricket games, and they made this game that's like, in terms of quality, it's almost comparable to like a FIFA or a Madden, but like fully licensed England, Australia, and a bunch of other countries, like test teams.
You say cricket games,
and it's
you say cricket games to me. All I ever remember is for whatever reason, I have no interest in cricket whatsoever. But for some reason, like back in the PS1 era, I picked up Brian Lara's cricket.
Brian Lara cricket, yes.
And every now and then, I see that Ashes game, and I go, well, yeah, it's supposed to be amazing. It's supposed to be brilliant, and it's like ridiculously cheap. Like I should just pick it up just for like literally to have a knockabout. Is it worth it? Is it worth it from someone like me?
I've only had it. Who doesn't care about cricket?
Who's not really that interested? Just wants to basically play, like just bowl in, hit a few sixes, and then go, yeah, that's fun, you know. Like it's like when you pick up a baseball game.
You can if you stick everything on easy, then you can absolutely just play it quite casually. Yeah. From my limited experience of about 3 hours playing it, if you put everything on easy, you can play it casually, and then if you up the difficulty, like you've got to arrange the layout of your fielders, and you're going to have to attack bowling using specific techniques based on what the batter that you're up against.
Can't just set everything to fast
almost
ball.
Playing like a you can't do that. You're almost playing like a game with the batter of like trying to goad them into going for a particular strike, and then bowling something that will mess them up if they go for that particular type of strike and whatnot. Like it can get quite technical.
Mind game and meta.
And cricket is a very technical sport. I mean, I don't fully understand all the ins and outs of it. Like, I need my other half here to just explain things to me sometimes when we're watching cricket. But I mean, it's quite surprising because like outside of American football, basketball, real football. Like none of the other sports really seem to get much care or attention, or I don't know if they even still make rugby games. Back in the day, Jonah Lomu Rugby. Oh my god!
Well,
that stuff was amazing.
There's that lacrosse game that EA put out. I swear there's been a handball 18 is supposed to be like a sleeper. Little
Rockstar made a table tennis game once upon a time.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Genius.
That was really good.
Just to prove that they
I like
the engine that they then made Grand Theft Auto 4 on.
I like playing sports games for different sports. Like one of my favourite sports games from it's not really particularly out there, but was Steep.
Yes, I've heard that's great.
It was really good. It was just a good, fun, open mountain skiing, snowboarding, paragliding sort of game.
Heard it was a little bit too spiritual.
It was really fun.
Like the mountain talking to you and stuff. Well, like the mountain talking to you and kind of being a bit like. I heard a lot of people.
Maybe I don't know. I didn't pay any attention to anything any of the characters said because they were really annoying. I just wanted to snowboard.
You mean the Forza Horizon effect? You just go like everyone here's a complete dickhead.
I really don't care about this Horizon Festival, guys. Yeah. I just want to race. Let me race another train across the Australian outback again, please. That opening race in Forza Horizon 3 was insane.
Yeah, it's brilliant. The one in the UK is going to be even better.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game. I'm quite a recent convert to Forza Horizon. Like 3 was the first one I played. I've only recently, I've had an Xbox One for less than a year. So I used to play Forza Motorsport back in the day, and it scratched an itch for me in between very frequent Gran Turismo drops. But I didn't bother with the latest Forza Motorsport. But it was going to be. Well, I'd already got Gran Turismo Sport, and that scratches that itch for me. I don't need multiple racing sims or simcades or whatever you want to call them. But Forza Horizon 3 is just when I want to play a racing game that I can compete with using a pad rather than a steering wheel and just zombie out and have fun.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely gorgeous. Like they have a knack of picking environments that look absolutely stunning to base those games in. So, yeah, I'm glad I've finally started playing Forza Horizon.
I've never. The problem I've got with Forza Horizon is they've taken a perfectly decent driver mechanic out of Forza Motorsport and then ruined it. And sort of it's a bit of a Fisher Price, like a Fisher Price version of that control scheme.
Yeah, but I like that.
I completely understand.
Every now and then, I like having. I go from the extremes. Like I have at one end, I've got GT Sport on a steering wheel with all the assists turned off, and then at the other end, I quite like playing Need for Speed or The Crew.
It's a purely selfish thing for me. There's things I expect to be able to do because Forza Motorsport does it. Because they've rounded the edges off, and you can't do it in Forza 3. It throws me off, and in a way it slows me down. But then also, if you then add on top of that the fact that the rubber banding is so obvious in the Horizon games,
for sure.
It's to the point of being offensive, and I just can't. For as great as it is,
mate, you should play The Crew too. Oh my god!
It's one of my pet hates. If you're making your rubber banding that obvious, there's no point putting the game out. It's just shocking.
it makes sense in something like Mario Kart because it keeps the pack together and
Oh yeah, but
it makes
and
Mario
like
Kart
this,
Mario Kart.
I'm sure it's in this, but it's not that blatant, And even in this, like this is trying to keep you. This is trying to keep you together. There's a serious amount of rubber banding going on in this, but it's nowhere near.
Yeah, but there's a good reason for it.
Yeah, but you don't just suddenly like accelerate out of nowhere like you do in Forza Horizon. It's just, yeah, like I say, as much as I completely respect the game for like what it does, in as much as it is trying to bring in a more casual racing fan, to play a driving game. And there needs to be a game like that. I just can't go there. Yeah.
No, that's fair.
That's me being a
I suppose it's good then. It's like
being a racing game snob. That's all that is.
Yeah, no, but I mean that's a good thing, like because like with the Forza series, it caters for both because you've got like the more casual players or players looking for a more casual experience. I've got Horizon, and then if you want something more serious, then you've got Forza Motorsport. So they're catering for both, and they're managing to bring one or the other out every single year, and of a decent quality as well.
Yeah.
Whereas it takes Polyphony
you might as well not wait
to bring out a Gran Turismo game. Yeah. And I know that like when Polyphony finally do bring out a game, it's amazing. Like GT Sport is incredible. That is like,
oh yeah, it's brilliant. That game is built for a wheel.
It might not have like the biggest roster of cars or tracks or anything like that, but introducing console, sim racers to to actual proper racing etiquette. Because like, have you tried playing Forza Motorsport online?
No.
It's
awful. Yeah. Just basically a big crash into the first corner. You might as well be playing
it is basically just it's like Demolition Derby. Actually, that's a game I'm really looking forward to. It's coming out later this year.
For the PlayStation 1.
It's called. No. There's a game, Bugbear, right? Who made? I think they're Icelandic.
Something car game. It was initially.
Yeah,
called,
but it's got it was called Next Car Game for ages, and now it's got a proper name. And it's basically Demolition Derby and banger racing and stuff like that. And it's out on PC. And it's coming to console in
It's
November,
like the cars are really well modelled as well, if I remember rightly. Like you damage the suspension, it really affects it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean that just looks really fun. Like that's actually something I like, and it's like it's a AA title. Like I think when it came out on Steam, it was quite cheap, so I imagine it would be on console as well.
When I was growing up, right, there was lots of games like there was Carmageddon, there was like you say, you had Destruction Derby, countless like sort of driving games. They were just, and they all had their little mechanic. Chase HQ, Road Rash.
There was one that somebody is making a spiritual successor to, and I can't remember what the spiritual successor is called or what the original game is called. Basically, the cars were like, they had giant wheels, so you could drive upside down as well as
grip and roll cage.
And roll cage, roll cage was the original, and grip is the spiritual successor.
Yeah.
Like,
it's had a bit of a weird
development,
that grip game. Kind of was a Kickstarter, then it wasn't, and then it kind of got some backing elsewhere, and it's been through a few different iterations, and it's been a bit of a up and down game. That at the moment it's looking decent. It looks really decent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
But this is the thing. It's coming back to Overwatch. Coming back to ONRUSH. Right, there was if this would have come out in that era of Destruction Derby, of Wipeout, there was just a myriad of like you say, Roll Cage and those kind of games. This game would have had all the plaudits, right up until Burnout 3 Takedown. This game would have really had this would have been an all-timer on those lists.
So racing games that have their own
unique mechanic, yeah. Whereas now, there is none of that. There is no clamour for that. There's no interest in that, and it's just weird that that's just gone away. It's like rhythm action games just gone. You know? And it's so odd. It's a whole genre of some weird subgenres just disappeared.
I mean, rhythm action's still big in Japan, I guess. Like, you're still going to get Dance Dance Revolution machines and things like that. But I only mean like the Guitar Hero rock band thing that looked like it was going to take over the planet, just disappeared as quickly as it arrived.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird, like, isn't it? Where genres just kind of like come and then
it'll come back.
Just vanish.
There'll be something that brings this all back, you know. Yeah, I'd be interested. It'd be fun to see what that's going to be. Are you stuck in this menu?
I'm stuck in a defeat screen.
Same here.
Yeah. Shall we...
That's probably a great place to call it a night, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. Probably a good place to...
the game crashing.
To end as we began, complaining about the fact that nobody bought ONRUSH whilst stuck in a menu on ONRUSH. Yeah. ONRUSH is amazing. It's frequently on sale on PlayStation. It's on the Game Pass on Xbox One, and it's cheap to buy anyway on Xbox One. I don't know if it's on PC. I think it might be.
I don't believe so.
I don't know.
I don't believe
Have a
so.
look. But, you know, it's great. Everyone who's played it has nothing but good things to say about it. It's just that not enough people played it, which is possibly why Codemasters decided to axe pretty much everyone who worked in the game not long after it was released, which sucks.
But they all
the poor
found...
people at Evolution who got axed by Sony after bringing out Drive Club and then went to Codemasters and made this and then got axed by Codemasters. Can't catch a break.
Be interesting to see who they get axed by next.
Well, I saw that I follow the project lead on Twitter, and he's gone to Slightly Mad Studios, who do Project Cars.
Project Cars, yeah.
And then Project Cars is I played a chunk of the first one. By all accounts, the second one is amazing. So he's gone somewhere where they care about driving games, which is good.
Project Cars was amazing and beautiful, but if lacking in variety of cars. But yeah, like there's a game that you play with a steering wheel and gear levers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's one of the best. It really is.
Yeah.
So difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Right, well, I guess we'll leave it at that then.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me, Chazzy.
Thank you for inviting me. Pleasure as always.
You know where you can find us on Twitter. You can find the podcast and so on and so forth. I haven't got all the links in front of me, and I'm not going to try and remember off the top of my head, but you know where you can find us. Thanks for watching, and you can catch us on the next episode of LGR Play. Goodbye.
Bye.